Are you guys okay? Seriously though, are you okay in this energy? Because ever since I started tapping into this collective that's experiencing this love energy, it has me confused. Every time I go to sit down to film a message on this energy, I'm confused. So imagining you're sitting in the energy of confusion right now when it comes to connection with somebody else in your life. And I feel like you guys can both feel this deep pull towards each other. It's almost like magnets being magnetized towards each other. It's like this unbreakable bond. I'm seeing like the red string theory in my mind. An unbreakable bond that was formed between two souls that couldn't be together for some reason is what it feels like. Timing was off, or just, I don't know, there's some element of like, it couldn't happen. That's the energy that I'm getting. Every time I tap into it, it feels like restrictive. It feels like there's some sort of wall, but at the same time, this undeniable, unbreakable bond between two people. And I feel like you could be trying to be hopeful, but you keep getting sucked back into doubt, which is completely valid, because I feel like whatever this connection is, genuinely, if you allow yourself to like actually think about it and the possibilities that it encompasses, I feel like it's so big and so all-consuming that it can be terrifying. You know, it can be like, it's a lot. I don't know. I feel like the possibilities are truly endless. I just heard end game in my mind here. So I feel like somebody could see you as end game, or you could see another person as end game. Maybe you were a person in the past that was afraid of commitment, or the thought of like thinking long term for you. I feel like, I don't know, maybe you never truly wanted to be married or had a fear of settling down, because I feel like you could be a type of soul that like, you understand that as humans, we fall in love many times. We fall in love with many souls. So I feel like the thought of you settling down with one person or in one connection could have been a hard thought to sit with, or like maybe fear of commitment because you didn't want to hurt anyone else. You also don't want to lose yourself when it comes to relationship again. That's interesting I said that. So maybe you did lose yourself in a past relationship or something like that. But it just feels like this is the type of person that like breaks beyond those barriers and those restrictions that you might place on yourself normally, which is so mother freaking crazy, because I feel like when it comes to your boundaries and you're like, something about you, you know what I'm hearing right now is your solitude is not just the desire for you in a relationship. It's not a luxury for you. Your alone time, it's not just a luxury. It's a mother freaking requirement. Okay. You are somebody that you need alone time in your life. You need alone time to be able to thrive as a human being. Like, there's something about every time you have time to yourself, or every time you come home to yourself, it refuels you. You recharge your battery. So maybe in the past you could have been in relationships that were extremely codependent, or when you had people that were too clingy with your energy, you ended up subconsciously resenting them. Not intentionally, but I feel like resentment could have built up because you started to pour into them from an empty cup because your cup wasn't full within yourself, is what I'm getting right now. So I feel like you are starting to realize that your alone time in life in general, as a soul, as a human being, my little hermit, okay? My little love to be alone, love to hide away from the rest of the world, love to be in your shell, okay? I feel like you're realizing that that's a requirement in your life. That's not just a luxury. It's not just something that you want and that you desire, and that, you know, you're not willing to compromise on that. So I feel like the reason why I'm saying this is I feel like you could have a fear of connection because you fear that it takes away from your ability to be with yourself. But there's something so different about this connection that you're stepping into. I feel like a lot of you don't even know who this is yet. This could be a completely brand new energy that's entering your life. And for a lot of you, this is somebody that you're in separation with, or that you know you're deeply connected to in a deep way. But it just feels like this energy is completely different. It's not like, you know what it is? Because in this collective, you guys are both mirroring each other. I've been saying this. You guys are both going through the same thing. So the way you feel about your solitude is the way that the other person feels about their solitude also. But I feel like there's this energy right now of you guys both, I'm almost hearing like waiting for divine timing is the vibes that I'm getting from both of you, but you both are thinking of each other so heavily. There's something about, you guys are heavily in each other's minds right now, almost like borderline obsessive a bit. And you could have felt this energy out of nowhere. You could have been like feeling like you were so focused on your path, going about your life, and then all of a sudden this energy just hit in waves out of nowhere. And I'm seeing a lot of you guys on like the last previous videos tapping into this energy. Just how this is happening and how this is unfolding and communication that's happening, like it's literally happening right now for a lot of you guys. So congratulations for those who have already crossed over into, you know, breaking through the silence, because I feel like this silence, I feel like this silence is almost like the biggest test of all. You know what it feels like is happening behind the scenes? It's like you guys are both secretly preparing for union with each other without the other person knowing. Like, this feels very hush-hush. This feels very keep it on the down low. This feels very secretive. There's like hidden truths here. Truths that have not yet been revealed here in whatever this connection is. Truths of true emotions. I feel like there has always been some sort of allure. If you did know this person, there's been some sort of like flirty banter or like chemistry. Like, you could feel a connection, but it was never like verbalized feelings. Like, there was never any conversation about these feelings. And I feel like it's crazy because it's almost like within a separation, the feelings have just grown stronger, which I feel like is also really terrifying for you at this time, because you're like, what the heck? I'm trying to go on with my life. I'm trying to focus on me. I'm trying to focus on my money. There's something about you right now being so focused on building an empire for yourself and you wanting actual stability within your own life first and foremost. I feel like you're not the type of person, maybe you were in the past, but right now at this point in your life, you're not the type of person to put love on a pedestal and put it above everything else. You want to be successful as an individual in your life. You want to create an empire, create a legacy for yourself first and foremost, so that when you do come into union with a partner that fits with you, because I feel like in order for you to even be open to the idea of a relationship, it has to be somebody that ticks all of the boxes. Like, truthfully, you're not willing to settle at this time in your life, and neither are they. You guys are both mirroring each other. But it's funny because I feel like you guys are secretly preparing for each other at this time. And you know what this time feels like? It almost feels like you guys are both integrating the energy of being in love before actually being in love is what it feels like. And I know a lot of patience has been required for you both in this journey. There's something about you've been waiting. I'm just getting the energy right now of like, man, I've been waiting for this. You could have been celibate for a long time, or just like I feel like not a lot of people have access to your energy. Like, you keep that shit locked down. You're not one that's like on the streets. You're not looking for anything. You're focused on yourself. But during this time of you guys both secretly preparing for union with each other, it's like you guys are both integrating the energy of what it looks like to balance love and career without the other person yet, which is interesting because I feel like that's going to be the biggest lesson within this partnership in general, within any partnership that you come into next, especially when it comes to love. It's like learning how to balance love and yourself simultaneously at the same time, because maybe in the past that balance was out of whack. Maybe you poured so much, listen to that bike, confirmation, okay? Maybe you poured so much love and energy into other people that you ended up neglecting yourself in the process. So I just feel like it's like you guys are learning so much from each other without being around each other right now. I don't know, there's something about your energies where you guys are both students to each other within the separation. And I feel like that's how you know that this connection is legit. That's how you know that this is a connection that's worth fighting for, is what I'm hearing, worth hoping for, worth dreaming of. Because when have you ever experienced that? Truthfully, sit back and look at the relationships that you've experienced in your life. When have you ever experienced a relationship where you feel genuinely inspired by the other person? Even throughout the distance? Like, you don't just feel inspired and supported sometimes. This is like you are constantly wanting to better yourself for them, to better yourself for yourself first and foremost. But that's an art that you've been mastering. That's not something that, like, that comes naturally to you now. You're constantly wanting to be better for you. But the fact that you met someone or are about to meet somebody that makes you want to be better for them also, that's powerful. And there's something about this like daring to dream or daring to have hope with this, because it feels so freaking terrifying and it feels so confusing. And what is amplifying those fears and the confusion is the silence. Because it's like I was saying before in the last video, it's almost like you know that you're at a point in your life where you have permission to give yourself, or to hope right now. You have permission to be hopeful for this. Whew, I'm getting hot. You have permission to be hopeful for this, whatever this partnership is. But the silence is deafening. Like, the silence is so loud. It's so loud. And like, there's just a lot of confusion, because I feel like neither of you realize that the energy is reciprocated, or like, there's something about this partnership that you're stepping into that you guys are both preparing to receive a reciprocal type of love that you've never received before in the past. I feel like in all your connections that you've been through, the scales were unbalanced. And I feel like this person is coming in to balance the scales. Like, you're finally gonna, ooh, you know what I'm hearing right now? This person wants to be your protector, is the vibes that I'm getting. Like, you're calling in somebody that wants to protect you. And not that you need protecting. I know you're strong. I know you can handle your own. Okay, I know you're little Miss Independent, little Mr. Independent. But there's something about this person wanting to come through and basically just provide an environment for you to exist in that promotes your freedom of expression and your freedom in general. And you guys both do that to each other. It's like you guys both promote the energy of freedom within the other person. And it's like you're safe to be free in that energy. Your inner children are safe to exist in that energy. It's also 12:34, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the timer, or the time. But you guys are both like, see. But then when I really sit with this energy and I think about it, I feel like you guys could be feeling this idea of like, it almost makes you sick. Like, if you really take the time to sit with it and be like, okay, if I allow myself to not fall into the loop of doubt and actually think of what, like, could this possibly be? I feel like it actually makes you like sick to your stomach. Like, you could experience your stomach dropping, or like having those deep butterflies, because this feels very real, and it feels like it requires trust and vulnerability. Trust and vulnerability. Which, again, I feel like that's just what you're opening up to in your own life in general. You guys are both in this season of integration and preparation. So I feel like, I know it's so annoying to hear this right now. Trust me, I know. But patience is so necessary at this time, because this is something that's meant to evolve naturally. It's something that's meant to unfold in a way that is divine, synchronicistical, magical, you know? And within this space and this distance and this confusion, you're actually subconsciously, without you even realizing it, learning how to mentally hold space for the energy of love, as well as the energy of yourself and what that looks like for you. So I feel like right now the message is balance is mother freaking key at this time in your life. Balance, balance, balance. How can you make sure that you're not all consumed by one energy? And I know that that's really hard, because this energy does feel all consuming. It feels like it literally swallows you whole every single day. But learning not to lose yourself in the energy of love, I feel like, is the lesson here. And it's almost like you're getting the chance through the separation to learn this lesson before being in partnership, because there's something about the divine wants to bring you together with this new soulmate, or this soulmate energy, at a time where both of you guys are capable of holding this energy. You guys aren't going to be in a position, 423, that's my birthday. You guys aren't going to be in a position to self-sabotage this energy, or like, for example, if you guys didn't master the ability to balance both of these energies now, you could step into that union and not have learned that lesson of balance, and then you end up self-sabotaging something that could have been really good, because It's like this energy of wanting to rush something just to get in it because you want to be there right now. You want to be in union. You've been waiting so long. There's that little bit of impatience or like hastiness with this, which is completely valid, by the way. You, I feel like, are at a point in your journey, and I heard Freya talking about this also, where it's like you feel like shout out to Freya. Girl, I love you. You feel like, what was I going to say now? Good God. Hold on, it'll come. Oh yeah, okay, so you feel like you're at a point in your journey right now where you've learned almost like enough on your own, and you can feel like the next phase of your life is union. And I feel like that is true for a lot of you guys right now. It's like, that's why this impatience could be coming through, because it's like, Frig, I've been on this journey on my own for how long? Like, when is it time for me to learn in partnership? But again, it's like really understanding that sometimes good things are worth the wait, and sometimes, yeah, sometimes good things are worth the wait, and sometimes you need that time to really be super grounded in yourself, okay? Because I really feel like you guys are tapping into a new energy within yourself in general. You're like meeting yourself in a way that you've never met yourself before. So it's like giving yourself permission to like ground into that energy before you bring in new elements. Like you're mastering one element in your life right now at a time. Ooh. And I feel like I got this message in the past where it's like you're meant to do things one step at a time, one piece by piece. Not everything is meant to flood in all at once, because you are walking into a life that's meant to be stable. It's meant to be, oh, there's a word I'm thinking of. Gosh, why can't I remember? It's meant to be stable. It's meant to be unshakable. That's not the word, but hopefully it comes to me. You're walking into a season where like the foundation is meant to be strong in your life. You're not meant to get something and then lose it right away. You know, this is sustainable. Thank you, brain. Yes, this is meant to be sustainable. Okay, your relationships, your finances, your money, your abundance, your health, I'm getting like the energy of building blocks. Like you're slowly building a foundation, and that's why it's been such a slow journey for you, because you're building something that is sustainable and something that is stable, something that's not going to break after a couple months, after a year. This is like, you have to be comfortable with the timing of everything, because when it does come in, it's going to come in at a time when you are capable of holding it down. You're capable of making it prosper and making it bloom and making it grow. So how can you, I guess the whole message of this is prioritize balance in your life. This is not to say, because I feel like a lot of you go through these loops where it's like, one minute you're hopeful and the next minute you're like, I need to let this go. I need to walk away from this. I need to let this go. This is not good for me. I need to let this go. I feel like I'm crazy. And it's like you really start to doubt your own intuition when it comes to this. I don't think that's what you're meant to do. I think it's just meant to be more about balance, like letting this energy exist, feeling safe, being hopeful for this, but at the same time, not obsessing over it, not putting it at the forefront of your brain, because that's when the energy becomes counterproductive, is when it's all that you're thinking about, right? So how can you just balance the scales, balance out your life right now, balance out your work and your play and love, like still make room for love. Don't deny yourself this love that you're feeling. This loving energy that you can feel approaching you. Don't deny it. Don't deny it. Okay, babe? I know you, and I know that you've been denying yourself of love a lot. I do, because it feels scary and uncomfortable, and you're like, ugh. You feel like you're finally putting the pieces of your own path together so beautifully, and you're just afraid that somebody's going to come in and mess it all up, because you're finally like, I'm hearing like somebody that's finally bandaged all their wounds. Someone that's finally healing from the past. And you're like, why would I open myself up to love if it could potentially end in heartbreak? You know, I ask, you guys know, my OGs know, D's tribe, you know, I've asked this question many times. Would you, what's my question now? If you could experience the greatest love of all time, right? And you guys are going to remember this. If you could experience the greatest love story of all time, I'm talking fairy tale, romance, novel type shit, okay? If you could experience that, but you knew that it could end in heartbreak, you knew that heartbreak was inevitable in this, would you still give yourself permission to experience that? And there's no right or wrong answer here. It's just how you feel. Personally, I feel like a love as great as that is worth any amount of pain that could come, because pain is a beautiful gift and pain is a beautiful teacher, and I've learned some beautiful things through pain, and I've grown in such a beautiful way through pain, and I know that you guys have also. So at the end of the day, why would you deprive yourself of something to live a mediocre life at best, to just coast through life, to not experience two highs of highs or two highs of lows, but to just float, instead of letting yourself experience and opening up to the idea of experiencing something that feels surreal, is what I just heard. Feels like a dream. Feels like you could only write it up in a book. You know what I mean? So don't deprive yourself of the love that does want to enter your life because you are in self-preservation mode. And if you guys have read my book, my favorite entry that I've ever written, I think, it's called A Love That Lingers. And I talk about that. Ooh, wait, should I read it to you guys? Let me see. Okay. Oh, I feel called to read this right now, so you guys are, somebody's gonna resonate. Feeling trapped within the prison of my own body, this yearning, an inescapable desire to love another, yet feeling suffocated by my own self-preservation. Is it an act of self-protection or rather self-annihilation? Sometimes I feel like I was only put on this planet to love another, the fulfillment I get from being a nurturer, someone who pours into the gardens of others and watches them effortlessly bloom. I feel this abundance of love for the world, this desire to make someone feel a love that they have yet to encounter, a love that feels like spring after a fresh dewy rain, comforting and peaceful. I feel burdened by the love that exists within me, so much to give, yet so much fear consuming my every fiber at the thought of loving another. It's like I yearn for a love that to me feels unattainable, like a rabbit constantly chasing a carrot it can never seem to catch. So I suffocate here, in the hands of my very own despair, withering away with no one to love but myself. Perhaps if I protect my heart from the world, I will never have to endure the gut-wrenching pain of heartbreak. Sorry. Or perhaps I'm... Oh, and there goes the mother-freaking lights, babe! Or perhaps I am simply depriving myself of my own innate nature, to love and to be loved, to see and to be seen. I think a part of me only perceives love as pain, and that part of me, though I'm afraid to admit it, is grand and all-consuming. Love has only borne rotten fruit for me in a garden that I have tended to all of my life. The torture of waking up with the sun to nurture the seeds I have planted, to pour my all into every soul that I have ever encountered, only to be met by the faded hands of despair, only to finally taste a fruit that is indeed rotten. I must admit that I fear giving my heart to another because it has only ever been mishandled by the hands of those who have held it. But ultimately, I fear myself. I fear the depths at which I love. My love is an all-consuming type of love, the kind that swallows you whole and savors every bite. A love that lingers for a lifetime. That is inescapable. I don't know how to love moderately, and I never have. From the moment I could breathe, the only air I allowed to enter my lungs was that made of unconditional love. I fear that if I allow myself to love another, I might lose sight of the precious love that I have managed to build for myself. You see, I have worked tirelessly tending to my own garden, filling my own cup with sweet waters, bearing fruits within my soul that taste of richness. I love myself deeply, and I think that in doing so, I have tried to protect myself from the inevitable hands of pain. Heartbreak broke me. It chewed me up and spat me out onto the floor into a million pieces that I'm still trying to collect every single day. It showed me no mercy. The truth is, I'm afraid to let myself be loved, for I don't know that I ever truly knew how to receive love in the first place. I have been blessed with this gift of producing the purest love for others, a natural nurturer, here to pour love into the soil beneath the feet of those around me. But when it comes to receiving love, that is a foreign concept to me. It has never come easily. The love I encountered was always conditional. I was only lovable if I did something to earn it. I had to be perfect to be loved. I had to do the right thing. Never make a mistake. I was taught from a young age that love was something to be withheld until you proved yourself worthy of it. That shaped my reality and still slow dances in the depths of my mind. How do I be enough to deserve love? a thought that consumed me, and if I'm being honest, still does. What do I have to do to be lovable? Maybe if I prove myself, if I break myself just enough, by pouring all of me into another, they will see the light within me. All I've ever wanted is someone to tend to my garden, to water my soul, to help me bear fruit of sweetness. All I've ever wanted is to be loved by another in the way that I love those that I encounter. And yet my whole existence, that was the one thing I have been deprived of time and time again. Along the way, I began to associate love with suffering, for a heart that loves deeply must suffer just as deeply. Will I ever heal these wounds? Will I ever allow the light to enter the cracks of my broken heart? Will I ever learn to let myself be loved, or will fear consume me? I find myself in my own self-inflicted torture, having so much love to give, but being so afraid to be broken that I deprive myself of my own innate ability and desire to love another. Perhaps this is simply a side effect of being deeply tortured by the depths at which I feel. Perhaps my heart was always meant to break. Oh, shit. Damn, girl. I'm so proud of myself. Every time I read some of this stuff from this book, I'm like, oh, period. I really did that. I feel so much more healed in my perception of love now than when I was writing that thing. But I think that just goes to this whole message. It's like, love is in the air. Don't deprive yourself of it because you're afraid of the possibility of pain. Okay? Aww. That just made me so happy to read that. I haven't read my book stuff in a little while. If you guys do want a copy of my book, it is available paperback and hardcover on Amazon. Link is in my YouTube bio thingy. It's called Nuggets of Divinity. Anyways, I love you so much. Yeah, balance. Okay, balance is key right now. And don't deprive yourself of this good energy because you're feeling it for a reason. It's not here to just make you hopeful and then just dwindle away. Okay, you're safe in this hope. And I love you so much. I love you. I will talk to you very soon.